What is up mga kapuyat? Ito na naman tayo back at it again for another vlog. This time around pag-uusapan naman natin ang topic dahil kakatapos na ng SEA Games. Ang topic ko ngayon is why is PH superior in MLBB? Kung mapansin nyo, no, iba yung background ko ngayon. Gabi na, ako ay nagpupuyat. Currently, it's 3:30 in the morning and para mapatunayan ko sa inyo nagpupuyat ako. Hindi ko lang ba't ko lang patunayan and it's 3:30 in the morning and lalabas na yung araw at ako ay gising pa rin. So, actually, tapos na itong video na to, no? Nagre-record lang ako kasi I realized that there will be foreign viewers watching this. So, I recognize na puro Tagalog yung sinasabi ko. Even though itong intro ginagawa ko, puro Tagalog na naman. Pero we'll try to accommodate our foreign viewers again kasi we will be talking about SEA Games and a lot of the viewers will be watching from Indonesia, from Singapore and Malaysia, and hindi lang Pilipinas yung makakanood. So, nag-decide ako na i-remake yung aking analysis kasi syempre, kailangan ko lagyan ng mas maraming English para mas maintindihan nila. So, without further ado guys, let's head into the analysis. Wachak! So, dito na tayo sa aking table guys. Di tayo pwede masyadong mag-ingay. Kaya kailangan bawasan yung aking volume dahil may mga natutulog na dahil anong oras na rin kasi guys. So, dito lang ako para ibigay sa inyo ang aking conclusion on why PH is superior over any other countries. And I have one point to make. PH is superior when it comes to shot calling versus other countries. Because in this exact moment, in this clip that you're seeing right now, Singapore could have won against PH. I'm not taking the victory away from Blacklist, but I'm saying that SG, if they had the shot calling skills of Oh My Venus or any other PH captain out there, they could have just easily taken the game against PH. Because if we watch this clip, okay, I'm gonna rewind a bit. Disclaimer lang para sa mga Filipino viewers natin dyan. Kailangan ko magsalita ng English kasi may mga manonood pong foreign viewers. Actually, kaya ako nire-record to kasi may mga manonood na foreign viewers, okay? So, disclaimer, majority of this video will be recorded in English, okay? So, going into the game, there is a small skirmish that is going to happen for PH and Singapore, wherein PH has the Lord on the bottom lane. So if PH were playing carefully, you wouldn't really commit skills against Singapore here, because you would want to commit the skills when when you're pushing with the Lord. Because if you look at the lineup of SG, there's nothing that you really want to force out. All the flickers were burned except for the sprint of Sayla and JPL. Now, of course, they're counting battle spells here. So PH, they know this. They realize this. There's nothing that needs to be forced out. Soto is down, so SG is going to fight 5v4, but in retrospect, it's going to be 4v4 because they have Reminiscent split pushing on the top lane. So PH, again, as much as possible, they wanted to, burn things out, but there's nothing to burn. So they needed to wait for the Lord to come into the base of SG. But this was a mistake that they made in SEA Games. They committed spells thinking that they could, they could take down the heroes of SG because the mindset is it's a game-winning play. If you manage to take down a hero on the side of SG, you automatically win because the Lord is pushing on the bottom lane. So Singapore after this, okay, they lose the Savior. So that is one down already on the side of Singapore. So effectively, this is going to be a 3v3 fight. But PH, they've burned the ultimate off the Eve. So there's no real world manipulation anymore. That is going to come out from Imam. So SG, they know this, okay? The next Lord, there's not going to be a fight. They just need to take out the Lord. They need to wither its HP down. But again, Reminiscent is split pushing on the top lane. This was already a game-winning move from both sides. Now SG, they play this Lord defense fantastically. Okay, they hold the Lord off. Adamir has committed his ultimate. He didn't die. Now in this specific moment, Soul and JPL was clearing the minion wave in the mid lane. Now, if PH were playing against another PH team, like for example, if PH, Philippines is Blacklist. So if Singapore was played by Omega, Omega would have won here, right in this moment. That's how PH versus PH works. That's how MPL PH works. These are mistakes that don't go unpunished. Now SG, they see that Philippines are sitting in front of their base. They just saw Philippines commit skills in front of their mid lane towers, and they saw 4 heroes in this area. This is something that will be heavily punished by another PH team, because you start counting heroes. Soto is down. Okay, Soto is down. 4 heroes are left, and they're all in front of your base. And Reminiscent is split pushing on the top lane. Now, Soto will be alive in 8 seconds, actually 5 seconds, but there's a huge minion wave on the top lane. If Singapore chased down the remaining 4 heroes of PH, Reminiscent could have ended the game here. Now, I don't know what his items are. I'm pretty sure that it's mostly damage and tanky items against Philippines, but with Hellcurt, you could easily, clean the base. There's still 4 seconds left before Soto spawns, and there's 4 seconds left before the next minion wave spawns. So this minion wave would have been inside the base of PH, and if you count it down, the first minion wave to come inside the base of PH is in 1509. Reminiscent could have been also there by 1509, and I think it would have taken him 2 or 3 seconds to take out the space, and Soto was spawning in 2 seconds. Again, these are the plays that I think if it was played in PH, this game would have been over. Sorry, Soto spawned at 1511. So if we take into consideration the 2 seconds, Soto would have dashed in front of his base. That would have taken at least 1 second, and Electro Final Blow another 1 second. But again, that's already the time needed for Reminiscent to clean the base. But he backed off. So this is what I call the Singaporean blunder. It was already a game-winning play. I think the pressure prevented Reminiscent from making that play, because he was playing carefully, he was playing defensively, he was playing with discipline, because they are in the back. They're in the back here. When it comes to the situation of the game, because Blacklist or Team Philippines were leading for the majority of the game. It's 13-7, and they have a 7,000 gold lead. And Singapore were trying to find ways to come back into the game. But again, if this was a PH team, PH teams don't look for ways to come back. They look for ways to win. And if this was if this was a PH jungler, I would say that this game would have been over for Philippines and Singapore, and PH should have been playing for the bronze medal match, and Singapore would have been playing into the grand finals against Indonesia. But again, they didn't commit this play. I would say I'm not guaranteeing that SG wins this game, but I'm saying that this is where the difference lie when it comes to PH versus other countries. We are just better in shot calling, because I believe that if another PH team was playing in the lineup of Singapore, they would have won in this game. And this just showcases that the shot calling skills of PH captains, PH teams, and majority of the players all in all for MPL PH. And I say this because we're as casters, we're trying to look at games wherein if there's a small possibility that this play can end the game, teams take it. That's the case for Omega Esports. That's why I'm using Omega as an example. If they're playing SG right now, this Hellcurt would have been pushing the base of PH, and JPL and Seoul would have been chasing the hell out of the heroes of PH on the bottom lane. Because again, they just counted 4 heroes, and there's only 4 heroes in the map because Soto was still down, and the Hellcurt is inside the base of PH. So if given the chance, PH could have definitely been put into a situation where it comes down to the wire. Like this Hellcurt could have died, but we don't know if he will be able to finish the base or not. But I'm pretty sure if my calculations are right, Reminiscent could have just ended the game right there and then. I'm not saying that the play was bad, but I'm saying that PH teams would have taken that chance, because you're already you're already down and you presented the game winning play and you didn't take it. So that's where I think That's, I think, where the difference lies. Because if we're gonna look at another example, PH versus Indonesia, you start seeing the the skills of the shot call or the shot calls of PH teams. Now PH is fighting against Indonesia. It's currently game number 4. Philippines is leading 1 point against Indonesia, and in this moment, the very crucial moment of the game where things start going in favor of PH is when Indonesia decided to cross what we call the death bush. I'm pretty sure the other countries call it as well. It's it's the area between the your the stone near the tower in the mid lane and the bushes. It's something that you don't cross. It's just it's there's a reason why you call it the death bush. Okay, so you don't cross it unless you have somebody covering the bush for you. So in this specific instance, PH, they're trying to take control of of the mid lane, and Indonesia, they wanted to fight. So you know, PH, they had the initiation first. They got the kill on R7, but look at this. They crossed they crossed the path where you're not supposed to cross, and Gonzalez found a perfect angle for his ultimate, and you start seeing the fundamental understanding of these two teams. Again, if you're Indonesia, even if Del Rosario was caught by the Baksha, you don't cross this area unless you have somebody covering the right bush for you. So again, they found an opportunity to go on the Akai, but even then, you're not in the right place. And even if you collapse in this area, you don't have the damage to take out the Akai. Because guess what? You have the Sicilian, you have a Diggy, and you have a 1-1 that wants to chase. And there's a savior on the back line, and you have nothing against them. You have nothing against Imam, so you don't take this fight. But Indonesia, in a moment of despair, they wanted to take the Akai down of Del Rosario. I keep calling it Baksha. Baksha is on the side of Indonesia. It's played by Albert. So they wanted to take down the Akai, but there's nobody covering the right bush area, and then Gonzalez was in the perfect position to just lay havoc on Indonesia, and he was able to burst down the heroes of Indo, and Vin and CW are not in fighting position anymore. And Gonzalez committed the flicker to clean up and essentially win the game here for PH. I say win the game, but for the most part, for most teams, they would not even think of, getting inside the base of Indonesia at this moment because the Lord is up. But PH, somebody called the shot to just end the game. Again, this is where you see the excellence of shot calling skills on PH teams. Because again, if another team is playing on the side of PH, I don't think the call would be to end the game. But somebody realized on PH's side that there's nobody defending. The latest that somebody will spawn is 19 seconds. I mean the earliest spawning hero is 19 seconds, and that is R7. Actually, that is 19 seconds, and that is R7. But PH made the call to just end the game, and they were able to. Again, this is where you see the excellence of shot calls by PH teams and their fundamental understanding of MLBB. Gonzalez was in the position to punish the mistake of Indonesia, and that's the difference. Mistakes like that, they are heavily punished in MPLPH. Like if you pit two teams together and somebody committed a mistake like that, they would be punished like 95% of the time. And Indonesia made a mistake, PH punished, Singapore did not, and PH just ended up taking the game. And that was the gold medal winning play by Gonzalez. After that, it was just Philippines, celebrating their moment of victory, and it came down to a single mistake by both Vin and CW. And that's where that's your point that I'm trying to make here. I'm not belittling any other team. I'm not saying that it's the wrong call. I'm saying that Singapore, they did not make the play because of a lot of things like pressure, maybe communication, or just a lack of confidence to make that play. But for PH teams, if Reminiscent and the gang were played by PH counterparts, they would have probably made the play. And we don't know if that ends up in Singapore winning the game. But again, if given the opportunity to take the game-winning play, PH teams would take it, and the death bush was just horrible for Indonesia. Horrible in the sense that it was a mistake that has a huge consequence. They lost the game because of that small mistake. They wanted to commit on to Del Rosario, and Gonzalez, in his head, were thinking, "What are you doing there? What are you doing there, guys?" So it was just a single ultimate away from getting the victory here in SEA Games, and that's about it. Again, the point is PH, they're better in taking these moments, taking these mistakes, and punishing them with a follow up of good shot calling skills for the whole gang. Actually, there was also one play. I believe that was also against Singapore, wherein Oh My Venus and yeah, Oh My Venus and Owl rotated towards the opposite side of the map wherein the Lord was. So if the Lord was on the bottom lane, they were playing on the top lane, and they caught off guard a hero on the side of SG, and that ended up being the game winning play by Team Philippines. So that is what I'm saying. PH, they're just good at making these plays, like shot calling. Calling the shots for these moments, and that's where the difference lies. It's either you lose or you win, and PH would take 95% of the time would take that game-winning play, and that ended up happening against Indonesia. It was just one mistake from Indonesia, and they didn't think much of it. They thought that, okay, we can reset, but PH called the shot that the game was already over. So that's about it. Again, a quick disclaimer, I'm not belittling any other team. I'm just saying that these are the moments, these are the specific situations and examples where you start seeing the difference between PH and other countries. The reason why PH is the strongest region at the moment, as Zeiss has claimed it even before we made the statement that PH is the strongest region in MLBB. It's because of the fact that we call the shots better and we take the game-winning play and we punish the mistakes heavily. Like if you present a PH team a mistake, their eyes start glowing and they want as much as possible. They just want to pummel the mistake down and make the mistake even bigger than you think it is. Again, that the blunder between SG and PH, I think that if they took it, it could have ended up SG being in the grand finals and PH playing for bronze. But right now, PH stands at the top of MLBB because of superior shot calling skills and fundamental understanding of the game. So that's about it. I hope that I made a good point as to why I think PH is better right now against any other countries. My conclusion was we just have better understanding of how MLBB works, fundamental understanding of the things that you don't do inside a game, and of course the shot calling skills of PH teams in the country. So that is a summary of this analysis between PH. Analysis for SEA Games. So let's head over to the table where I was previously at. And that is it, guys, for the analysis kung bakit tinawag kong superior ang Pilipinas pagdating sa MLBB. Dahil, again, yung shot call natin and yung mga, yung mga fundamentals and foundation on how we play Mobile Legends is, I would say better, or mas fundamental lang yung understanding natin compared to the other countries. Kasi yun nga, tulad na sabi ko kanina sa analysis, may mga bagay talaga hindi pwedeng ginagawa dito sa Pilipinas, and most of the time kapag nakikita ng mga Philippine teams yon against foreign teams, they will punish. And nakita niyo naman doon sa blacklist or yung Seawall Pilipinas versus Indonesia, yung last play na ginawa ni Gonzalez, bawal kasi dito sa Pilipinas yun, no? Hindi yung play niya, no, kundi yung pwesto ng Indonesia. So again, it's just minute details. Although syempre hindi naman ito yung lahat ng factors kung bakit superior ang blacklist, or let's just say na baka hindi lang at that moment, no, hindi lang napansin ng Indonesia. I'm not saying na their fundamentals are bad compared to us. It's just that mas consistent dito sa Pilipinas yung mga ganung moments na hindi talaga nangyayari, at kapag nangyayari yun, mabilis ma-punish for PH team. So that is it, guys. Maraming salamat sa lahat na nanood, sa lahat ng mga sumusuporta dyan. Keep on supporting my YouTube channel, pati na rin yung mga teams na sinusuportahan nyo. And speaking about YouTube channel, huwag nyo nakakalimutan mag-subscribe sa aking YouTube channel, and also follow nyo ako sa aking mga social media accounts. It's at MDNYT97. That's for Facebook, Twitter, IG, and TikTok. And guys, again, maraming salamat. This has been the analysis, a quick analysis of the recently concluded SEA Games. Congratulations sa Blacklist International and of course sa buong Pilipinas. Once again, guys, this has been Midnight, and goodbye. Bye-bye.